Okay. Hi guys, can you see me and hear me clearly?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Awesome. I see you have been able to join. Your internet issues fixed.
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
So let's begin our session for today. Keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes and just start observing your breath. Watch the natural flow of your breathing as you inhale and as you exhale. Now slowly shift your attention to your body. Become aware of your posture. Be in the posture and check your alignment. Now gently come back to the breathing and begin to deepen the breath. We will open today's session by chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shanti. Take a deep breath in for Om. 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 Shanti. 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 Feel the vibration. Now join both your palms together and begin to rub the palms. Keep the palms on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms. Open up your eyes, come back with a big smile. Shanti and Namaste. Let us begin our class for today. So first half an hour, again, we are going to give to yoga philosophy, and second half an hour, we will talk about pranayama. So we have been discussing the lifestyle practices of yoga, right? How we can implement yoga into our lives. And in previous 2 classes, we have talked about food. And today we are going to look at other practices that we can incorporate in our life, right? So one thing should be very clear that these classes are about implementation, right? So knowledge a lot of us have, but we are rarely able to implement that. So your main focus should be just to understand what is yoga's point of view on certain things, and then just implement as much as is possible. Okay. So the next topic of discussion is yoga has also talked about recreation. Okay. So recreation forms a very important or crucial part of your life, right? So food is something our life circles around, but recreation is not something your life will circle around, but you will have to create the time, right? You will have to create the space, you will have to create the time for a practice like recreation. Okay, so recreational activities, they are nothing but some time devoted to your day towards something that you really enjoy doing, and something which relaxes you both mentally and emotionally, right? So recreation could vary from, for some people it is sleeping, yeah, taking a short nap maybe, right? Not the lazy kind of sleeping, but actually a rested sleep. Okay, so it could vary from something like sleeping more properly, more in a more like in a way where you are more relaxed, to the various hobbies that people have. So very surface level hobbies that I can talk of are like maybe playing an instrument, listening to some music, dance, right, drawing, painting, sketching. These kinds of activities on a very surface level, we can say these can act as recreational activities for any individual, right? So depending on your personality, you can choose an activity which refreshes you, right? So a lot of people, they think when they come into yoga they have to, lose out on all the fun. It's a very serious art, it's a very serious form, but rarely do they see the emphasis that yoga gives on recreation, because recreation is such an important part of life, right? So being too serious all the time, or being too focused all the time, it's just another extreme of being too careless or not worrying about anything, right? So it's just the other extreme, and yoga says that you have to walk on the middle path, right? You don't have to go into extremes. So being too serious all the time, not enjoying the things in life, that is also not the right way to go about it, right? So through recreation, you are able to deal with your day to day things in a much more relaxed or calm manner, because these activities, you can also call this your me time, right? So, I don't know about you guys, but if I don't get some alone time in the day, right, I am very cranky or agitated, right? So, I need that kind of space and time to gather my own thoughts, to gather my own understanding of whatever is going on, and I need it every day, right? So it's not as if one day you sit and you introspect, right? For some it could even be introspection. Okay, so I need that alone time each and every day. It energizes me, it gives me energy, or you can say I am able to see what my thoughts are separate from everyone around me, right? So what do I really want without the influences of all the environment around me, that I get in my me time. So I like to, like, for me it's reading, right? I like to read, or I like to watch a movie, right? So it helps me to channel my emotions, it helps me to channel my thoughts in a much better way. So for you, again, it could be anything, as long as you are enthusiastic about doing it, right? So recreative activities, they generally, there is a sense of excitement around them, and that is why they are so relaxing to us, right? Because we really look forward to them, right? So they should, first of all, have sense of enthusiasm. Second, they should actually be relaxing. So even though for me, seeing movies is relaxing for me, but somewhere my eyes do and my mind does get strained sometimes, right? So maybe not like still looking for a better outlet, right? But like you could look for something where the creation is coming in more, rather than just the consumption of something which is already existing, right? So recreation will help you to connect with the part where you are creating rather than consuming, right? Which is another really beautiful thing about it, because most of today's world, we are just in a consumption pattern. We want to buy things, watch advertisements, we watch so many things. We are taking a lot of information in, and we are unable to create or create something new, right? So in recreation activities, I would also say that focus more on the creation part, okay, where you are coming up with something of your own or understanding of your own. And overall, when you take out these 30 minutes to 60 minutes every day, so I would say at least take half an hour for yourself, right? So it could be even your asana class. Maybe you love doing asana. So when you do asana, you close the door, you stay in your room, and you just do the practice. So even that can be a source of recreation for you, because at the end of the day, it is helping you to manage your mind better, and it is also helping you to manage your emotions better. So eventually, when you start taking out this time for yourself in on every day, you will come to a state where this half an hour or 1 hour starts seeping into the rest of your day, right? So now, if that portion of the day is missing, your day, you will feel as if I'm missing out on something, right? So this thing will begin to seep into each and every small activity you do, the way in which you deal with situations, the way in which you deal with things, the quality of your decisions, everything is going to go up if you give more time to recreation in your day, right? So from today, make a conscious effort. For half an hour or 1 hour, I'm going to do something I'm really excited about. Maybe if you like asana, if you like pranayama, or if you like meditation, with these classes only you will get that recreation, and after the classes you can continue with the recreation. Just a second. Hold on. So with after these classes you can continue that source of recreation, or otherwise you can look for anything you like. You can reconnect with something you used to do, and you will see it will generally, whatever we do in our childhood, it has a very relaxative effect on us. So you can connect back with something you used to do when you were little or when you were younger, and you derived a lot of happiness out of that. But do make sure to take out this time for yourself in your day, right? So next point that we come to when we discuss lifestyle is the conduction. Okay, so conduction is about the, um, what can I say? Yeah. So it's an attitude that you develop. It's like every day you do little things, and then those turn into attitudes and habits. So conduction is about the habits or attitudes that we have, right? And yoga has a lot to say, in fact, on how you should conduct yourself, right? If you look at Patanjali, his first two limbs are all about how you have to conduct yourself in the society and how you have to conduct yourself when you are interacting with your own self. What is the ideal way of conduction, right? So Patanjali, even before starting any asana practice, pranayam practice, any other high level practices, he said that it is first very essential to um, you know understand what is the correct way of conducting yourself, right? And the correct way of conducting yourself is actually when you are in a set of disciplines, in a set of rules, where these rules and regulations, they don't harm you or they don't harm anyone around you, right? So the yamas and niyamas, which we will discuss in the upcoming classes also in detail, they are mostly aligned in this way, that the person who is practicing those, they are not hurt, and because of the change in conduction, the things around them are also not hurt, right? So anything you do which hurts you is of course harmful, right? But sometimes what happens, we do something which doesn't hurt us but it hurts the other person, right? So the right action or the right conduction will never have the quality of harming. Okay, sometimes you might think that this is the correct way to conduct yourself, but because you are hurting other people or other things around you, then again you need to check in more deeply, right? What you are doing or why, what is the motivating factor for you to do that, right? So Patanjali, like he has given, this yama called satya, right? Or truth, honesty, right? So when we speak a lie, we also hurt the other person because the other person doesn't get the real picture, no? If we lie that we are feeling a certain way or not feeling a certain way, then the other person gets the wrong picture, then they make decisions on the basis of that picture, and then it all mixes up and it's a big mess before you know it, right? So it's very important to conduct your life with as much honesty as possible. I'm not saying that all the time become honest. If right now you are lying 10 times in the day, then I cannot expect you or expect this out of you that from tomorrow you will say zero lie, right? But at least as much as is feasible for you, you should start practicing going for these practices more and more, because these conductions will actually form your entire life, right? So the habits that we form, they govern our entire lives, right? And after a while, because they become habits or attitudes, they go on autopilot mode, right? So sometimes initially when you want to begin a new habit, you will make the effort, but once it comes to the autopilot mode, you will not even have the motivation to break it, right? Because it's so hard, no, to break a habit, right? Or to do something which we really want to stick to, right? So be very careful what kinds of attitudes and what kind of conduction you are having, right? And that is why you will see your parents, everybody in your life, they are constantly telling you, you should read this, you should not read this, or you should hang out with these kinds of people, not hang out with other kinds of people. Why? Because it is very easy for us to observe and absorb those habits, especially in our childhood and in the more detrimental years, right? At least till the teenage, right? Till you are 16, 18, you don't develop that kind of, the brain is not that developed, right? Till that age. So brain easily absorbs and takes up those habits, right? So that is why you should be very careful who is in your life, who's not in your life. Most people don't, you know, give a second thought to these things. But I would say, because you are in yoga, because you are increasing the level of your awareness, you should be aware of this thing, who is a part of your life and who isn't, and are the people and the things that are part of your life making it better, or are they making it worse, right? So it's something, it's very important to contemplate on this thing, right? So you should check in after some time in your life, right? So this is the conduction. Yoga has its own philosophy on conduction, and we will study it more deeply when we do the 8 limbs of yoga. But for now, just this basic understanding is very important, right? This basic understanding of why even conduction is considered to be a lifestyle practice. Okay. So now jumping from food to recreation to the conduction. Fourth point that comes into discussion heavily is the thoughts, right? So thoughts have the tendency to make us or break us, right? Don't just think on this thing. Don't you feel that this really is true, right? Because if I keep thinking negatively, right? So even if a situation is good or positive, and just I am thinking negatively because of some fear, right? I will end up turning the situation that way. Or even if the situation doesn't turn that way, I will end up perceiving it that negatively. So it becomes very, very important for you to keep a check on the thoughts. The thoughts are having a direction. If the only difference is some of you will be aware that they are going in a direction, and others will just go about life just like that, right? So thoughts have a lot of power over us. The way in which we think is the way in which we act. Okay, so if my set of beliefs are this, I will act accordingly, right? So thoughts have the ability to control the actions. It is because somebody thought of a smartphone, it is because somebody thought of an application like Zoom that it came into reality, and today we are connected. You guys are sitting in different parts of the world, and I am sitting here in India, and we are still connected, right? So look at the power of the thought, right? It turns or actualizes into something else altogether, right? There's a very famous movie around this also. It's called Inception, right? Where he's talking about an idea and how he wants to just plant an idea, right? And as soon as he does that in the movie, right, it turns into a reality, right? So the concept of thoughts and their power is very beautifully highlighted in the movie Inception, right? And that is exactly how our lives are also governed. No? When we think of something, we are actually able to do it. And I will assure you of this thing. If you have set your mind to something, or if you believe in something, I can guarantee you that you can do it, right? It's just from that one thought, what direction you are choosing to give. So some of us, we will end up going in a negative narrative, right? So maybe something XYZ happened in our lives and we chose the negative narrative, right? So after that, all the experiences we will have, unless and until I'm not able to come out of this narrative of the mind, I will feel as if everything is negative, right? So I can either choose that direction or I can be aware, right? Through your awareness increases. You become aware, oh, this is the thought, that is why I'm seeing this like this. That is why I'm seeing everything in blue color or green color, right? And then when you become aware of this thing, you can actually begin to come out of it, right? So if with the same like with the same situation, you come to the conclusion that you want to become more positive person, you want to become more like you can say positive person, or you want to gain something better out of it, you will actually end up doing it, right? If you read the success stories of most of the people who have gained a lot of wealth, gained a lot of recognition in society, you will see that none of them had the ideal circumstances. None of them had the very little out of them had the required resources, right? All they had was a will to get that thing done, right? And they kept their thoughts so that even if in their reality that thing hadn't happened, right? They, because they were able to manage their thinking in that way, they were finally able to reach a point where that kind of success or that kind of achievement did show up in their life. It might have taken a lot of time, it might have taken a lot of effort, right? But no successful person is successful alone, right? Don't you agree with this thing? No, none of the people who have ever been successful or recognized for whatever work they have done, they have never done it alone, right? Every person has some lack in some area of life or the other, right? But because they kept their thoughts in a particular direction, they were able to achieve their vision, right? So I will still encourage you, I will still say this thing: if you have a dream, if you have some goal, right, and if currently where you are you think, oh, it's impossible for me, right, then stop thinking in this way. It is totally possible for you. You can absolutely do it, right? But managing the mind is what you will have to somewhere understand. You will have to understand the nature of the mind. You will have to understand why this is happening. And as you begin to deepen your meditation, right, you will be able to, get everything. Nothing is impossible to have in life, right? I don't believe so. It's just that we as human beings are unable to manage this, right? Then again this thing comes in. when you think in a certain way, then you need to have like-minded people in your life, right? Suppose I believe in God and then my friend doesn't believe in God altogether, right? So most of the time we will spend together, we will be bickering, fighting. I will say, oh, there is God, right? And my friend would constantly tell me there is no God, there is no God. So most of our time will go in fighting because of contradictory views, right? So either have those kind of people who give you the space to have your own set of views, right? Or else I would save your energy, no? Because once you step into practices like you, right? So a lot of people will come and oppose you, right? In my life, it happened so much. So many people did not agree with the choices that I made, right? But all that mattered to me was one, I agree with the choices I make, and second, the people that I live with or my close family, right, they agree with what decisions I'm making. As long as I have my support and their support, it is sufficient, right? So that helped me to sail through a lot of times in my life, and hence I really believe the kind of people you have around you, they will influence your thoughts. You will never be able to step out of that vicious circle. So start, you know, staying with people who align or match more with your thoughts, who can push you ahead in your journey rather than just pull you down. Okay, you will only meet two kinds of people who will push you towards your goal and people who will take you away from your goal. Now you choose, right? What you want, right? Slowly, as your awareness will increase, you will become aware of this one very major thing, that thoughts have a very high influence on us, right? And you can make the choice, right, of directing them towards a more positive outlook rather than a negative narrative. Okay? So tomorrow we will finish the topic of lifestyle. Right. Today we'll start with pranayam. Okay. Pranayama practices. If there are any doubts, questions, or queries, you can write them down in the chat box. I will address them when I look at them, or if you want to unmute yourself, please feel free to ask any of the doubts that you have. Right. So I will begin with pranayama session, right? So philosophy, you can ponder upon it, you can think about it. And for today, I would say that from today onwards, set your mind that you are going to take some me time. Because out of all the three things that I have discussed today, I would say that taking out the me time is very important because that will help you to align with the other two as well. Okay, so from today, half an hour to 1 hour to yourself, okay, in any way that you like. Okay, let's begin with pranayama, right? So last time, yes, in yesterday's class, we had discussed the pre-practice for nadi shodhana. I had explained a little bit about what nadi shodhana is, and then I had explained why we form certain mudras to perform it and why only those mudras are formed, right? So in previous session, like we had also talked about the pre-practice mostly just ensures that the flow of the nostrils, like it's freely flowing. Both your nostrils are freely flowing. So one practice is that one that we did yesterday, through which if you do it more continuously, you will feel that the block from your nostrils, it's gone, right? One more practice that I can suggest, and you can sit in this. So in that, at least your hand was up and above, and you were breathing. So it required some effort. There is one more position that you can sit in, and this should balance out the flow of the nostril. So all you do is you sit in Vajrasana. Vajrasana I have showed in previous classes also. Okay, both your knees are together and you are sitting in between your heels. Okay, so you are not sitting on the heels, your heels are like this, and then the buttocks are in between. Okay, so Vajrasana, you can look for this posture also. I am currently sitting in this posture. Okay, this is the posture Vajrasana. My knees are, I don't know if you can see. So my knees are together and I am sitting in between my heels. Okay, from and like this, I keep my hands when I do Vajrasana. Now to unblock the nostrils, what you can do, one more thing that can be done is, I can take this position, sit in Vajrasana, and then I will place my hands underneath, right? So where my armpits are, but my thumbs will be out. Okay? Not all the fingers will go in like this. This should be the position. So cross your hands, place them like this below your, like on your armpits, near your armpits, right? And then gently press down, right? So when you sit like this, thumbs are out. Now close the eyes, sit for a while in this. Okay, so this should help you. If the nostrils are still blocked, this should help you greatly, right? This is a practice which is very famously known for balancing out the flow of the nostrils, right? So you sit for it and sit in it for a while. Then you will be able to see the difference. Okay. So if yesterday's practice doesn't help you, this is the practice by crossing the hands and then pressing down, right? Hands are between the armpits. You can close your eyes and just breathe normally. Okay. After some time, you will feel that if one of the nostrils it is blocked, it will begin to open, right? So now you have three practices if your nostrils tend to be blocked. First is your Shat Karma practice, which is Jal Neti, right? Where you take saline water, lukewarm saline water, and you place the nozzle in one of the nostrils and you allow the water to pour out from the other, right? First, you can go ahead and try that. Second, the practice that we had done yesterday, that is also very beneficial if you feel the nostrils are not flowing, or yeah, they are not open, right? And then the third practice I've told you today, sitting like this, you can keep your hands like that, right? So whichever practice suits you the most, you can go ahead and adopt that practice. All of them will help to just attain the make sure that the nostrils are open so that you can breathe, right? Because in today's practice also you will require both the nostrils to be open, right? Why? Because today's practice we are going to switch between the nostrils, right? So if I'm inhaling from one nostril, I will exhale from the other one, right? If I'm inhaling through the other one, I will exhale through the first one, right? So means that both of my nostrils need to be open. Okay. So today we are learning the practice of Anulom Vilom. So you can write this down. Anulom, ANULOMA. Anulom, and then Vilom, VILOMA. Vilom. Anulom Vilom. So this is a pre-practice for Nadi Shodhana, right? So yesterday we had done stage 1. Today we are moving to stage 2. Okay, so this is a continuous practice. You do no retention or holding in this practice. Okay. Again, like yesterday, we are going to form the mudra with the right hand. So you can either fold the first two fingers, place them on the base of the thumb, right? And then you can bring your hand up. So some people, they take their uh, face down or causes a curve in the spine, right? So you don't have to do that. Take the hand up. Okay. Exhale fully first, and then close the right nostril. Okay. Close the right nostril. You can also choose to adopt this mudra. So if you don't feel comfortable in folding the first two fingers, you can go ahead and place the first two fingers on the eyebrow center, and then also you can do the switching, right? So exhale fully first, and now close the right nostril and begin to inhale through the left nostril. Now, after completing the inhalation, close the left nostril, open up the right nostril. After full exhalation, begin to inhale again to the right side. And now close the right nostril, open the left nostril, and exhale. This is one round. Okay, this is one round of the practice. I will repeat once again. You begin to first you exhale fully. Okay. Then you begin the inhalation from the left side. So this is a characteristic feature of Anulom Vilom that it always starts from the left side. Okay, so always beginning is from left side. Begin to inhale through the left side, and then once you inhale, close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Right. After your exhalation finishes, inhale through the right, and then exhale through the left. Okay. So there is no retention. This has to be continuous breathing. Your mouth has to be closed throughout this practice. The breathing only takes place through the nose. And last thing which is important is that there should be no strain in the breath or no movement in the body. So you will see a lot of people, what they do is when they do this practice, they like this, if their posture is like this, then when they inhale, and they create a lot of sound also, right? So this is effortless. This is supposed to be effortless breath, right? So then they inhale, then they exhale, right? So their body moves down, right? Then they move back up again, then their body moves down. So this movement in the body should not come in. You should simply sit stably and switch, keep switching. And there is no noise in the breathing also. So take care of these few points because a lot of students, they make these little common errors. Okay. Another thing that you have to take care of is that once you feel drained, you feel I cannot do any more rounds, relax your hand. Okay. Then if you feel ready again, bring your hand up and start the practice again. So don't switch the hand, don't go to the left hand and start doing this practice. From the right hand only, you feel drained, relax the hand. You feel ready, once again, begin the practice. Okay. One or two more points. So when we form this mudra or this mudra, what happens is the elbow, it comes close to the chest, right? So it should be at a comfortable distance. It shouldn't be like this. So some people, they keep the elbow up, right? And some people, they keep the elbow too close. Okay? So it should be at a comfortable distance. Why? Because the chest needs space to expand. You will generally go for a deep and full breath. Okay? So when you go for a deep and full breath, you cannot afford this blocking, right? So it shouldn't be too close. And if it is too far off, then your shoulder will not be relaxed, properly relaxed. Okay, so it should be at a comfortable distance. Your neck should be straight because most of your students, they will bend their neck. So you have to go and make sure their neck is straight. Okay? Neck should be straight. Hand should be as comfortable and relaxed as possible. And just do the breathing without any effort, because before this only we are already going to prepare for the process. So the breath shouldn't have any obstruction, right? It should have a free flow when we are doing it. Okay. Now this practice Anulom Vilom, it forms a pre-practice for Nadi Shodhana. It is a great practice for lots of things, right? On the bodily level, your breath, it comes more in control, the heart rate goes down, the body becomes relaxed, and it is very soothing for the nervous system as well. This practice is also very beneficial to people who suffer from insomnia or too many thoughts or getting stuck in the emotions also, right? So Anulom Vilom overall has many benefits, right? Just take care if the nose is blocked, like I said yesterday, blocked nose, cough, cold, fever, just avoid this practice at that time. And also in the case of people who have a very introverted nature, right? And they when they do the practice of Anulom Vilom, they get even more introverted, right? So if you want somebody to show more activeness, be more interactive, then give them very less rounds or totally avoid altogether, right? The practice of Anulom Vilom. Apart from that, there are no extreme contraindications in this practice, so everybody can go for this practice, right? So any questions or doubts? Otherwise, we will practice for the remaining of the time. Any difficulties? Okay, great. Awesome. So let's start with our session for today. So wherever you are, sit comfortably. Make sure that your back and neck remains straight. And once you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. And now start observing your breath. Just connect with the natural flow of your breathing. Now shift your focus to your body. Just make sure you are aligned correctly. Be in a posture. Now gently come back. You're breathing. We are going to begin with our first practice, the practice of abdominal breathing. Exhale fully. If you feel the need, keep one hand on your abdomen. And now begin to inhale. As you inhale, feel your abdomen rise and expand. As you exhale, again contract your abdomen. Continue this practice for a few more rounds. Inhale, abdomen out. Exhale, abdomen in. Try to deepen your breathing as much as possible. After your next exhalation, completely suspend the practice of abdominal breathing, keeping the back and neck straight. Simply observe the flow of your breath. We are going to take a few moments to balance out our breath. So let's change the posture, come into Vajrasana, and just place both our hands where our armpits are, thumbs out, press the elbows down. Just sit in this posture for a few seconds. You will see that your breath has already started deepening. Focus on the nostrils. Stay in this position for a few more breaths. Now slowly release your hands. If you feel comfortable sitting like this, you can sit like this, or you can come back in a cross-legged position. Let us begin with our main practice. With your right hand, form the preferable mudra. Either fold the first two fingers, place them on the root of the thumb, or you can the first two fingers in between both your eyebrows. Exhale fully. Close the right nostril and begin to exhale through the left nostril. Once you inhale fully, close the left nostril, open the right nostril, and exhale. Again, begin to inhale through the right nostril. And once complete the inhalation, close the right nostril, the left nostril, and exhale fully. This is one round. Continue your practice like this again. Begin the inhalation from the left side and switch the nostril. There inhalation. Continue the same cycle. like this, switching from one nostril to the other. Try to keep the breath as controlled as possible. And also try to keep the inhalations and exhalations equal. Keep following the practice. After the next round, completely suspend the practice. So your round should end with an exhalation through the left side. Once you exhale fully, come back to the natural flow of your breath. Relax your hand. Simply observe the changes, the impacts of practice. Now we will close the session by chanting one time, followed by three shantis. Keep your back and neck straight and take a deep breath in following. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join both your palms together, gently bow down. Respect and gratitude in your heart. Now rub your palms together. Keep them on the eyes. One more time. Practice arms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly while blinking and opening palms, open up eyes, and a big smile. Om Shanti and Namaste. Any issues, any difficulties in your practice? Any doubts, queries? All right. No doubts? Okay.
I have the position where your feet are underneath your inner part, right? But while my feet hurts a lot, is what can I do to minimize the pain? Yeah.
You can use the support of cushions, right? So sitting in any posture, if it gets painful, so what actually happens is the pain develops in the knees or the ankle region, generally in sitting postures. Mainly these are the two major spots. So if your knees are unable to touch to the ground or there is a gap, that is when the pain develops a lot, right? In that case, again, you can use cushions. And if in this position, the other one that I showed where you have to sit like this, if in this position you are feeling that it's hurting, then again place a cushion, right? Place a cushion between your, buttocks and heels, and then see what kind of difference is there, right? And in general, if you have any knee related issue, then I would say that don't sit in the second position altogether, because this places intense pressure on the knee. So if there is already some surgery or some issue that has been detected, then altogether avoid only this position.
Okay,
Right?
thank you.
Okay. So guys, I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy the remaining of your classes, and bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.